mister.
Yeah, you have you? I have.
Oh, yeah.
Been. And welcome back, everybody. We've had a nice little break from the old podcast.
It's
Mooshy's
been a while,
on holiday.
Yeah, I have.
I mean, is this technically season 3, or was that just like a mid-season break, like Lost?
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Did I ask you a question with a mouthful of knobbly bobbly?
I fucking love knobbly bobblies, man. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think back to our last production meeting, and then realise we haven't really done one.
No, well, we just had a chat, didn't we?
Spent the past 3 weeks just fucking generally doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, all concentrate on real life, one of the two. Yeah, why not? Let's make this series 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to episode 1 of series 3. How
Bob,
exciting.
Bob. Yeah, it's good times, isn't it? It was nice to have a little break, though. I mean, I've been fairly busy during this time. And by that, I mean, I read a book. I read one, Mooshy, with my eyes.
Wait.
Yeah.
I was assuming you just listened to it.
No, I read it. No.
Good Lord.
I know. And do you know what? For the first 2 hours of reading, I struggled massively. I mean, so
why are the words so quiet?
Exactly that, Mooch. It was doing my fucking head in. I've listened to so many books over the last year, like ridiculous amounts of books, and this was like part 25 of a 25-part series. Don't think I needed to explain that. So I know all these characters inside and out, and then I realised I don't know any of the fucking characters. I know their voices. I know the voices that the narrator puts on for them. So, like, they're reading the name. I'm like, which one's that? Who's that? And yeah, I've got no voice in my head. By the end of it, I was fine. But yeah.
Oh, God. You see, the worst mistake I ever made was thinking about Morgan Freeman halfway through a book. And then anytime a character spoke, I could just hear Morgan Freeman's voice.
That it could be problematic. But I mean, I listened to The Shawshank Redemption. Actually, I've listened to that twice. Once read by Morgan Freeman, which was the greatest thing ever, and then read by some weird old American guy, which sucked balls.
Yeah.
It was from the Stephen King Four Seasons books. So it had like Apt Pupil, Stand By Me, Rita Hayworth for The Shawshank Redemption, of course. And what's the last one? Oh, it doesn't matter. I can't remember. I think even when I read that book, I didn't bother reading that one.
I think a good life tip, if you ever want me to take in information, read it to me in Morgan Freeman's voice, because then I'll pay attention or I'll fall asleep. One of the two. I mean, it's so soothing, isn't it? It's so soothing.
Well, I just listened to I mean, this isn't an episode about books in any way, shape or form, but we're just catching up. I just listened to George Orwell's 1984. Have you read that?
No.
You definitely should, but I would more recommend you listen to it, because the guy who reads it has a voice like soft caramel. I've never. I was just there and I was like, "Oh, you've got a lovely voice, mate. This is I've never heard him read anything else before."
Did you find yourself gently stroking your thighs whilst listening to it?
No, I mean, no. What I wanted to do was get like a cup of hot chocolate and a blanket and just sort of cuddle up while I listened to his dulcet tones. But no, it was. Apart from the fact that the book is incredible, it's like absolutely fucking amazing. I've never read it before. I've been meaning to listen to it for ages. It keeps popping up. I had it in my wish list, and then it was £3, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's listen to it." And I mean, it's bleak. It's really fucking bleak, but it's.
What's that one about? Is that about the future?
No, it's set in 1984, believe it or not. I mean, when he wrote it, it was set in the future. I don't know when George Orwell wrote all this shit. When did he die?
I don't know.
Shall ask Jeeves. When did George Orwell die? Yeah. Here's what I found. Oh, he died in 1950. Oh, he was well ahead of the game.
There you go. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Okay. I got you. No, it's set in like a totalitarian, I think that might be the road, where Big Brother is prevalent. Everybody has these TVs, and the TVs are like two-way. So they can see if you're not watching the TV, and it's all propaganda. You've got thought crime is a thing. You get locked away for thought crime. People get like arrested because their TVs pick up on them talking in their sleep. Like the subconscious things and like the mannerisms. If there's like propaganda on screen and you're like on screen and you're like, oh, what a load of shit, they've got people watching it and you'll be arrested the next day. But it breaks it down what their ultimate goal is. Like they're trying to change the English language by like this masses about the English language and how they're changing it, and that they want to. I think they call it high speak or new speak. I've literally just finished it. I can't even remember. I'm terrible. And then like by abolishing words. So there's like a million different ways of saying good, you know, excellent, rad, and all of that. And they have good or good plus or good plus plus if it's really, really good. But the idea is to abolish all of those words that could inseminate crime or rebellion. So there's like an appendix at the end where they specifically talk about the language, and the narrator reads out a part of the American independence, the Declaration of Independence, the particularly famous line that everybody knows, and they're like, to translate that into now into high speak or whatever they call it, it could only be called fort crime. All of it, the whole thing would just be condensed into fort crime. Otherwise, to say it would be illegal. It's fucking mental, but it's brilliant. I recommend it. It blew my mind. And yeah, I'd never read it. I'd seen it around and I've heard about it and I knew it was all about Big Brother, but I had no idea. But yeah, it blew my mind. I really recommend it, Mushu. I mean, it's not a positive read by any means.
No, doesn't sound like it, but it does sound quite good. It sounds like it's up my street.
Yes, I think you'd enjoy it in a weird, perverse way.
Now, you know quite a lot about books.
Well, I know they're made of paper usually.
That's quite a lot. I remember reading a book, and I can't remember what it was called. And also, if anyone else knows this, please message us somehow, or message me somehow, because I need to find this book again because I really enjoyed it. About these kids that were being raised in an orphanage.
Okay.
And it was set in like either an alternative universe or like slightly in the future, like the last book you were talking about, 1984. And the kids are being raised in this orphanage, and they're told that they have to take their medicine every day, blah blah blah. Yeah. And one day, one of the boys loses his pill.
Okay.
Right, and doesn't take it, and suddenly starts sort of like things start happening in his head, like he starts sort of thinking a bit clearer.
Okay.
And sort of questioning stuff, and then so he thinks like, maybe I won't take the pill next time. A bit like Equilibrium.
I was going to say, it sounds just like Equilibrium, which incidentally, George Orwell's 1984 feels very similar without the drugging.
Yeah, well, this is why it reminded me of this book. Yeah, and then he meets up with a girl who's also not taking her medication, and they decide to run off. Yeah, and they're being chased down, and I think it ends up with them finding a sort of. It turns out that a lot of adults, because of wars and stuff like that, they're trying to suppress all the children's emotions when they're growing up. So they just turn into like mindless robots farming all day. And
it sounds like a lot of things, that Mushu.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a lot of things. It's that specific thing. And I want to know what that specific book was.
Yeah, like,
I don't give a shit.
Like the Divergent series. Yeah, sounds a little bit like that.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think.
No,
wouldn't that be weird? No, because I read it when I was a kid, so it's got to be a good 30 years old.
No, I don't know it, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that one of our regular listeners will know it. Your old mate.
Hopefully Tracy. Yeah, Tracy, help us out here.
Legendary series by Cully Mack.
Yeah, check it out.
I saw one of her posts the other day. She's been pirated.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm
quite proud for her on that. I think that's amazing.
It's kind of good, but at the same time, you'd kind of want to be sort of like raking in shit tons of money before that happened, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it totally sucks. I don't want
to get into Tracy's finances. You know, she might be a secret millionaire for all I know. But I would assume she'd want to wait a little bit until she's sort of got a bit more before people start pirating the books. But it is a sign that, you know, someone's gone to the effort of doing that.
Yeah. Have you seen her TikTok videos for the promotions for her books?
I've not, no.
Oh, I love them. They're great. They're like those kind of like live action. I don't know. They're like little animations with like lots of words and stuff up on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're great. They're well good.
I'll check them out later.
Yeah, I mean, they're just promos for her books, and I've got them on my phone. Well, 2 of them, I think, through iBooks. Yeah, I haven't got them all because as I started reading, turns out really fucking difficult. I mean, if they were on Audible, I'd snap those bad bitches off in a second.
I mean, I haven't had a chance to read any books for a long time. Mainly because I'm so tired. Anytime I'm not working, I'm just so tired. I'll read 3 words and be asleep.
Oh, this is what happened to me when I was reading that series of books. I was falling asleep, but I wanted to read them so much that I was falling asleep. I was having like a 10-minute nap, and then I'd wake up and I'd read for another half an hour before actually going to bed. I mean, all of these times are not heroic. They're like 9 o'clock. I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock in the evening. I look at the clock and I'm like, wake up, you silly fucker. Come on, read some more.
Yeah, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Just another paragraph. And then you sort of realise that you're not really taking in the last 3 pages.
Oh, no. Not with that latest book. It was action the whole way, Moshi. It was fucking great. There's a chapter called Battle for Gatwick. It's a zombie book. I'm sure you can imagine how that went. It was fucking epic. It was so fucking good. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Anyway, should we stop talking about books? I mean,
yes, why not?
Otherwise, this will just become a fucking library cast.
So I think we decided that we wanted to we've got a second part of the music we need to do, but we're going to do that next time possibly, or some point in this series.
We'll do it at some point. I mean, it's there.
We thought today, since we've not been around for a little while, we'd do a little catch up.
Because so much has fucking happened since we were
just busy. I mean,
well, the ocean's on fire. I mean, it might not be by the time this airs, but thank you, BP, for setting fire to water.
I mean, let's talk about that. Now, I used to be, I'm not bragging here, but I used to be fire marshal for the last company
you were a
I
police
worked
a fire marshal. Have you been an ambulance driver as well?
No, not a fireman, a fire marshal.
Oh God, so that's as bad as HR.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was the guy that had to report if the fire doors didn't close completely flush or something like that, or a pin had been taken out one of the fire extinguishers. But the training was a pretty intense 3/4 of an hour, and I would like to say, I know, so I am somewhat of an expert, but I don't remember. Like, I know you use water extinguishers for wood. You used the powder extinguishers for electrical fires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd turn up to that and I'd be like, what do you use for fucking water fires? That wasn't in the training. What do you do if the water's on fire? Fire. More fire. Fight fire.
Burn it down, yeah.
But you can't tell you can't do any controlled burning. You can't really cover it in anything because it's
can't cover it in water. That ain't gonna fucking work, is it? It's just fucked up. Have you seen the pictures though?
I have seen the pictures and it looks immense. It looks like someone's trying.
Now, there we go.
Oh,
I know. It looks like a gateway to hell, mate.
Yeah, like Sauron's taking a bath.
Yeah, it's
the stuff of nightmares, and it's. I think it's
archetypal. No,
possibly. I think it's typical of what we're doing to the planet at the moment.
We need high speak, less words.
Yeah, we do. It's a very nice representation of what we're actually managing to achieve on the planet as a human race at the moment. We are fucking it beyond belief.
I honestly, BP, I don't know much about their history. All I know is that I can buy petrol from them at usually more money than it costs at Asda, and that they quite often spill oil.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Yeah. I mean, you'd imagine the oil spillage section of BP has got quite a high staff turnover.
What happens to those drivers? Because, like, I know what happens in my job if I fuck up.
Yeah. You said you weren't going to do this, Sam.
Yeah, I'm not going into that. I think most of anyone who's listened to the previous episodes knows what happens when I fuck up at work, and it isn't good, and it doesn't make me overly happy, and it fills me with a massive sense of dread and remorse for the simplest of little things. But if I was fucking driving, sailing, what do you call it when you drive a tanker? Drive a tanker, fuck it. We're driving a tanker. And I somehow, I mean, I don't think it was a tanker. I think it was a drilling rig, wasn't it?
I believe it's a pipeline that's caught fire or something along those lines from what I was reading.
I assume that guy isn't just going to be taken off of pipelining.
Well, you would hope. I mean, I would think that your first day on the job at any one of these sort of places where you're dealing every day with highly flammable materials and highly combustible materials, the golden rule is just like try and keep fire away from it if you can.
Yeah.
You know, like
how's it caught on fire? It's in the middle of the fucking ocean. Seawater, not renowned for being flammable.
Scuba divers working on it.
Just having a fag, yeah. It's just up for a fag break, fucking 2,000 leagues under the sea.
I can picture it now.
This up.
Where's Phil gone? Oh, he's down. There was a slight problem with one of the pipelines. He's just down welding it at the moment. What, like with a welding torch? Yeah. Oh, fuck.
No, it'd be a sarcastic. Nah, mate, it's with bubble gum. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Hang on.
Yeah, it's problematic, that.
Health and Safety Policy Amendment number 4,324. Do not weld near gas.
Oh, fucking
yeah.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, it truly is a magnificently scary picture. It looks like a fucking volcano, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Genuinely, it looks like something off of an apocalypse when the ocean is on fire.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be up there with the other sort of terrifying things like that village or the town in
the Welsh village.
The town in America, in Northern America, which is got a coal fire burning underneath it. Where the coal mine caught fire and it's been burning ever since. And now you can go and visit the village, but you can't live in it because obviously you'll die within a few hours from all the fumes coming up. But in certain places there are cracks and you can feel the heat of the fires that are burning like really far underneath it.
That's underground. Why can't they just like cover it over?
Well, I mean, it's covered over
air,
with a fucking town. Apparently
more
that's not helped.
Well, what's the oh God, Russia, nuclear explosion, meltdown in every Call of Duty game.
Chernobyl?
We watched the documentary Chernobyl. Thank you.
How did you forget? Right, yeah.
Honestly, it's been a week. Chernobyl, whatever.
Yeah.
They dropped like 1 million tons of sand on that thing in minutes. It took them. They were like, right, we need 200 million tons of sand. And they're like, yeah, sure, on it. I mean, it died doing it, but
well, rumor has it they got a fucking army of cats just to like.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, that's been having troubles recently, though, hasn't it?
With the boar.
Well, it's starting to sink into the ground, isn't it?
I didn't know that. All I knew, I was going to bring it up because wild pigs have taken over the area, which I won't lie, I love that. I love nature reclaiming it. I mean, big deal. They got 2 heads. Like turtles are running at 9,000 miles an hour. But
you say that. Apparently, there's dogs now. There's stray dogs. Some of the stray dogs from around that area are so genetically altered from the traditional canine sort of genus that they could technically be classed as a new breed of animal.
Holy shit! Well, I mean, didn't we evolve from nuclear exposure in some way? Like the amoeba got a little bit of.
I think that was Godzilla.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Easy to mix up.
Yeah. I mean, when I stand next to you guys, it is more or less the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, what you got to realise though is radiation is everywhere, isn't it? Because there's safe levels of radiation, and there's you go out for a suntan. What you're doing is you're irradiating yourself from the sun, effectively.
Yeah. Radiation's great, isn't it? I think Joe Rogan has a bit about it.
I think I vaguely recall reading something the other week about the core that's still whatever giving off all of this radiation
Warm.
is starting to sink, and they're trying to work out how to because obviously if it gets down to the bedrock level, and the water level, that's
Oh,
gonna
that could be bad.
it's going to cause a lot of issues for a lot of people all around the world, basically. But
I'm not going to be buying any Russian based mineral water for a while. That's for sure.
yeah, I'm sure your weekly shop will change dramatically.
Don't buy a lot of Russian related stuff anyway. I can't think of anything from Russia that I like. I don't really drink vodka.
No, potatoes. They've got quite a lot
That's
of potatoes.
Ireland.
And I love Russian dash cam videos. I mean, that's
I don't have to buy them though. They're all over YouTube.
Yeah.
I like the AK-47. I mean, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's a sexy little piece of kit.
There's quite a few fun little Russian guns actually, because they're crazy. They're just like, I wonder if I could make a gun out of this pipe, and then they'll make a gun and it works. So they start mass producing it. Stuff like that. It's brilliant. Yeah.
And when they store it, it's part of your plumbing system in your house. You just clip it in. I mean, it sucks when you got to take it out because water comes spurting out everywhere. But in the meantime, it's great.
And there's a 50% chance when you flush after taking a shit, you'll shoot yourself.
Yeah, 50 cal comes flying through the room. My bad. It was yellow. I should have let it mellow.
Oh my God. I saw a video the other day. You just mentioned the 50 cal. Sorry to change, to just go off on one. This guy in America, I can't remember what he does a lot of shooting videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was firing a 50 cal with an old round. It's quite an old round in it.
Okay.
And this round exploded with such pressure, it blew the gun in half and launched the bolt that holds the firing pin in at the back.
Yeah.
It blew that out and put a hole in his jugular.
Okay, I haven't seen this, but I know about it because one of my YouTubers that I watch regularly was talking about it on his channel.
I watched it and it is frightening. And the guy was so quick thinking. As soon as it happened, his dad, who was filming, said, "You've got a hole in your throat," and he's just stuck his thumb in it like that. And then basically hightailed it to the van. He's also broken all of his orbital bone. He broke in 3 places and all of this. Yeah, and he went to the whole way to hospital with his thumb just stuck in his throat.
Wow, that guy's got balls. He's alive though, isn't he? He's alive and well. Just
he lived.
With a mangled face.
He's now got a scar going from like there right down the middle of his chest, but they had to cut him right open because the blood from his jugular collapsed one of his lungs as well. Yeah, proper fucked him up.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a shame we haven't got the footage for that, but our previous forays into showing YouTube clips doesn't work so well, does it?
Well, we always we were yeah, but yeah, sorry, I just had to bring that up because it was fucking scary. Just thinking like,
I
supposed to be dangerous that way,
I obviously I love shooting guns. Guns is amazing. I don't have much experience with high caliber rifles, but I've always been I'd be a little bit too scared to shoot a 50 cal. I had the option of shooting a 50 cal muzzle loader, but that's not a 50 cal bullet that's like that long. That's just a massive slug on a black powder rifle. But the fucking hillbillies I was hanging, and I can't really say that in a negative tone as I'm sat here in a camouflage shirt. But the hillbillies I was with were fucking savages, and I knew full well that I was going to be set up good and proper, and there'd be like double or triple loads in there. Plus, this fucking muzzle loader was like this long. Well, it wasn't, but I can't get it in the screen how long it was. It was like half the length of a rifle that I would need to shoot comfortably. I mean, if you were a hobbit, it would be absolutely perfect. But for me to be able to shoot it comfortably, I would have to basically have the receiver in my mouth. It would be the stock was like
no,
that.
Thanks. Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, shoot yourself." I was like, "You can get fucked. I know exactly what you're trying to do here. Do it your fucking self."
Trying to blow my face off. It's not happening.
Yeah, you know the Derringer guns, like the little lady ones from Cowboy Times.
Yeah.
This guy, Nick, his name was, had a Derringer with the handle was about the size of a tennis ball. It was round, and it shot a 45 slug, or a 410 shotgun shell. I shot both of those, and I won't lie, I've never been more scared shooting a gun because there's 2 shots in that. One over, it's like an over and under shotgun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've never been more scared to shoot a fucking gun in my life because it didn't have a decent grip. It was a ball, like literally a fucking ball. So I mean, it fit in your hand quite nicely, but it wasn't like a ball's designed to spin. And the kick off of it. I mean, I don't know. Have you shot a 410?
No.
Okay, well, a 12 gauge has got a beautiful kick. It's a wonderful thing. But if you don't have that securely wedged in your shoulder, you get quite the bruise on your shoulder. And a 410 is the smaller version. It's I'm trying to think what it's featured in. Chopper, you seen that movie?
A long time ago, yeah.
His little sawn-off shotgun in that. That's a 410. And they're just skinnier fucking shotgun shells. That's all it is. They're about the same size as a 44 bullet. The exact same size, incidentally. And yeah, I shot one of those and that shit me up. But the idea of shooting a fucking 50 cal muzzle loader loaded by some hillbilly in Crocs, you can fuck right off. I was like, no sleeves on his shirt, the rest of him's camo apart from Crocs. Not a fucking chance. It just wasn't happening.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I was like, it's all right for you guys. You've got insurance, but I fucking haven't. I was like, this happens to me, I'm going to be bankrupt. I have to flee the country.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I was reading about someone over there hit with like a $2 million COVID medical bill.
Out for the flu, for basically the flu.
Pretty much, yeah. But because
I've had a jab, by the way.
Well done, mate. Well done.
I don't fucking want it.
No, but you have to get it done. You have to.
Exactly, Bushi. This is how everybody's been. Like, even work, like friends are like, "I want to get it done." I was like, I don't fucking. It's a fucking. It only lasts 6 months. I'm not getting a jab every 6 months for the rest of my fucking life for flu. I mean, it's bad flu if you're really, really ill, but if you're not really, really ill, it's just fucking flu.
I get a flu jab every year.
You're vulnerable. Your heart explodes at the drop of a hat, Mushu. Come on, and takes a loud noise and you're dead.
And I'm old now.
Yeah, and you're fucking old. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that fucking old.
No.
It's like, I wasn't worried about it, but I kept saying, I was like, I'm not going to go and seek out this jab. I'm not good. You know, I've had it. So essentially I should have the antibodies, is that the right word?
Yeah.
In my system, the same way if you get flu, you can't get that same branch of flu again. I should have them already because I had COVID at the start of last year. So what's the fucking point? And yeah, I was just getting so much grief. Anyway, I just had this conversation with someone, being like, "Oh, it's a bit weird." You know, I'm like 38. I thought I'd have had the fucking text now, but it was like the Monday after they had that weekend where they said anyone over the age of 18 could just do a walk in and get a jab. Do you remember that? It was like last week. Yeah. And I've just had this conversation and then my phone went off and my doctors were like, "Yeah, Mr. Johnson, yeah." And I called them up. Sucky cunts on the fucking doctor's line, aren't they? What is it? Are your receptionists at your doctor like the most sarcastic people in the world?
They're not too bad, to be fair. I really take exception to having to tell them the reason for speaking to a doctor.
I just lie. It's like, yeah, my piss is burning. It's like pissing out lava. I was like, "Can I speak to a doctor?" I mean, it's only probably only a course of penicillin or something.
Yeah, but it's like that story, isn't it, of the old boy that calls up his doctor and the receptionist, like, or he walks into his doctor and says, "Oh, I want to make a doctor's appointment." The receptionist's like, "Okay, what do you need to see the doctor about?" And he's like, "Well, it's my dick." And she's like, "You can't just say that. There's people in here. There's children in here. All right, you need to be a bit more sensitive." Okay. And he's like, "All right, can I make a doctor's appointment?" She's like, "Okay, what's it in relation to?" He's like, "My ear." Okay, what's wrong with your ear? He's like, "I can't piss out of it." But it is like that. I mean, like, I generally, I mean, I've had a really bad experience with the doctor when I was younger, and it is the typical sort of like, "Do you mind if I bring some students in here to sort of," and it was a problem with my ass, and I basically had a group of students hanging around looking at my ass,
looking up inside you.
Yeah, pretty much. And since then I've been very nervous about doctors. I don't like going there, you know. I'm not a big fan of it. So yeah, and so the receptionist can fuck off, mind your own business, just give me a fucking doctor's appointment, right? I want to see, unless you can tell me how to fix what's wrong with me, just fucking, all you've got to do is put down a time that I can go and speak to someone that can tell me how to fix me.
Yeah, exactly. You're
know,
a fucking receptionist. You're not a doctor or a trained nurse, or you know, you've got no qualifications for triage at all.
The only possible reason you could want to know that is for lunchtime conversation. You know,
yeah, totally.
No other reason you need to know what's wrong with me.
They've probably got a Deadpool, haven't they? You know, like, oh, yeah, or like a bingo card.
Illness bingo, yeah.
Anal seepage. That's bingo, baby.
Woo! I've got a line. Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have any side. I had a sore arm. Fucking arm felt like I've been given a granddad on it. But yeah, you know, like, have you got older brothers?
Yeah, I've got an older brother.
Did they do that thing where they just for like half an hour on your arm and just give you the worst?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Just being punched in the same place repeatedly. And not even hard, just repeatedly for like an hour. Brother used to do that to me all the time. That's what it felt like. That's pretty much what I had, to be fair. I like the fact they give you the choice of which arm, though.
Yeah, they asked me that. They're like, which arm do you want it in? I was like, I don't fucking care. And the doctor was just like, I can have it in his left. And yeah, I've got a tattoo on my shoulder. And this woman giving me the jab was like, what's that? And I was like, what? And she's like, that. And I was like, what's a tattoo, innit? I was like,
what do you fucking think it is?
What do you fucking... I ain't got a fucking biro out, love.
It's an original Claude Monet. It's a watercolour.
And she was like, oh, I've got to go through all of these things, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, you're not pregnant, are you? And I was like, well, clearly I am. And it's like, oh, well, I better go through that with you as well then. It's like...
They're not allowed to tell you that you're not. They can't tell you that you're not, though, these days.
They're not allowed to assume my gender.
But this is the problem I had. When I went into hospital with my heart, I needed a lot of, is it stint they call it? When they put a needle in your arm constantly?
Yeah, I think so. I've heard that phrase.
And they're like, right, we need to take some blood tests from you and all this sort of thing. So I'm like, okay. Held my arm out and they've just like looked at it and they're like, we're not going to find a vein there. I'm like, okay. What's that? Me just dying then, is it? And they're like, no, we're going through your hand. And so like I had to have the needle put in through my hand every time they did it. And fuck me, they didn't give me a choice then. It was the right hand or nothing. So I had one complete. I was just like there, like with a claw, because I had a needle sticking straight up there. Like
celibate for you then.
Well, to be fair, I was in a shared ward, so it was probably lucky for everyone else that I did have it there.
That's probably why they do it. Well, you left-handed or right-handed? Right, in the right it goes then, sir.
Yeah, no playing with yourself on the ward.
There's that amazing scene in Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais one. Have you seen? Oh,
I have.
No, maybe it's Derek actually.
I've not seen Derek.
Oh, well, some guy wants to jack off in the hospital because he nearly died, and they took his socks away. So someone was just like, "Can you stop spunking on your sheets?" And he's like, "You took my socks away. Well, what am I fucking meant to do?" He's like, "You got him over there with his respiratory condition. It sounds like Rolf Harris is making a fucking painting every night." It's like, and you just see this real angry nurse come in and throw his socks at him and walk away. Yeah, he should have had a catheter, or not a catheter. No, that probably sort the problem out as well. He should have had one of them put in his fucking hand, shouldn't he?
Yeah, too right. Yeah, fucking sort it out for me.
Yeah, I bet. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah. So I've had part one of the fucking COVID jab. Yay! Part of it. My 5G is great though. I mean, my phone's never worked faster. But my friend, she said the funniest fucking thing. It really made me laugh because she knows my feelings on it. And she's pretty much on par actually. She is Amy, you know, the one who tells us when we're wrong.
I know of Amy, yeah.
yeah. She tells us when we're wrong. I sent her a picture of whatever the fucking jab I had. I was like, joining the club at like 7 o'clock tonight. Yeah, I got it. She's like, oh, how was it? Any side effects? It's like, my arm hurts. And she's like, you know, it doesn't work unless you put it on social media, right? It was the funniest thing. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, really? I didn't fucking realise. Oh god, yeah, that had me in tears. I mean, she probably won't watch this, so I don't want to let her know, but that was genuinely funny. Kudos to you. Absolutely ridiculous. But COVID, so while we're on the subject, we've got changes happening soon, haven't we? Is it like the 21st or 28th or something like
I
that?
thought it was the 19th, wasn't it?
I don't fucking know, Mushu. I don't go out enough for it to really bother me, truth be told. But
well, yeah.
So the sports is happening at the moment. I don't know if you're aware. The kicking of balls is quite prevalent in society at the moment. We had a game yesterday against the country. We won 4-0.
Don't I know it? Don't I fucking know it?
Well,
I
feel like you've got something to say on this matter, Mushi.
I had the boys over last night.
Yep.
And obviously the match was at 8:00. Their bedtime's at 8:00.
Yep.
I let my oldest take his phone into his bedroom with him so he could watch it on his phone, because I'm not a complete prick. I just said, just keep it quiet, watch it if you want. And everyone around the town where I live was just shouting, because there's a goal fairly early on in the match.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I've got a real fucking issue with football fans, right? In the fact that I think the majority of them are fucking morons. Okay. And I'm quite verbal about all this, because they just aggravate me so much. There is nothing more shameful to me than seeing groups of fucking apes basically dressed up as their favorite footballers, like kids do, you know,
fancy dress,
bouncing around like fucking idiots, like they've personally achieved something. And just, it's like, you're just making noise. Shut the fuck up. You look like a cunt, right? And also, the people that shout at the TV, they go and sit in places and they'll sit there like, well, pass it. Like, you need to shout a lot fucking louder than that, mate. They're in Wembley. They can't hear you through the TV. I mean,
yeah, it's not George Orwell's 1984, dickhead.
I have never been so ashamed to be a human as seeing, like, and just vandalizing shit. Oh, we lost. Let's go out and vandalize everything. Oh, we won. Let's go out and vandalize everything. Let's have a fight because my favorite footballer is a different man to your favorite footballer. Yeah, it is the gay. No, I'm not even going to say it's the gayest thing.
It's nothing gay about it.
That's an insult to all of the completely sensible gay people out there. It's just the most ridiculous thing.
Fabulous gay people, I think, is the politically correct term, Mushi.
Well, sorry, fabulous. Yeah, I just don't get it. And you know, like, it, I can't get across how much it dismays me to see. And like, when you talk to people, like, you see people on game shows and they're like, so what's your name? Well, my name's Martin from Huddersfield. Okay, Martin, what are your hobbies? Like football. Oh, brilliant. So just go and sit down, Martin. Anyone that can answer some of these questions want to come up and have a go. You know, fucking, it's just like literally 11 men that you've never met kicking a piece of leather around a field. It's a game that kids play. Some kids never grew out of it and carry on playing it. It's no different to any other sport. Yet apparently this one, you've got to get drunk and just make a complete cock out of yourself at all times.
No, Mushu, that's a terrible, terrible description of it, because getting drunk and making a cock out of yourself sounds like it would make it amazing, but it doesn't. No. I was actually at the pub for the Tuesday game of sports, much to the dismay, because it was a friend of mine's funeral. Andy Field, you're a ledge. Anyway, so there was a wake at the pub. And then the sports happened after, and a few people stayed on to watch the sports, and I stayed on to drink the alcohol and try and get on with the whole sports thing. It didn't really work. I was just really annoying this guy I've known forever. I've mentioned him before in the podcast. Carl, he's got a beard. You know when I was saying about how women like to upgrade their boyfriends, turn them from like no-chinned idiots into tattooed, bearded men?
Yeah.
Hang on, you've got a beard and tattoos.
Some of us just reached that pinnacle on their own, mate. Didn't need to be upgraded.
You just upgraded yourself.
I came out perfect. What can I say?
So, but anyways, when I'm surrounded by sports people, sportists, sporters, whatever, I just like to bombard them with stupid questions the entire time, literally the whole time. Getting the names of people wrong constantly. Who's that fella? Are we the ones in the black?
Oh,
why is all of our team made up of African Americans? We're English, aren't we? Wah, 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 wah. Which way are we going? Hang on, they were going the other way in the last half. Why are they going this way this time? That sort of shit the whole way.
Why is the ball yellow?
Yeah. Why do they call it football? That came off of his head. Shouldn't it be called headball or just ball?
Which team's the guy in the black kit on?
Yeah, exactly. What's ENG? Isn't it meant to be ing? Yeah, I could see the fury rising in him. And obviously, when they would go to the thing, my standard chant of "Go Sports," not as well received, surrounded by people in a pub as I thought it might be.
Well, this is the thing; they take it ever so sensibly, ever so seriously, you know. And God forbid, when all the cheering happens, you should shout out, "Has someone been evicted from Love Island?"
That's a good one. I'll keep hold of that.
They don't like that. I mean, but this cheering last night went on for hours. It got to 12 o'clock. It got to 1 o'clock. And they are still, at one point, they were all singing Bohemian Rhapsody. Don't ruin that song by footballizing it.
What? You know, hang on, why weren't they singing "We Are the Champions"? If you were going to sing a Queen song.
I mean, this had been going on for a few hours. I'm assuming they'd run out of football-related songs and had just moving through the rest of Queen's greatest hits.
Yeah.
I missed Fat Bottom Girls. That's probably one of the better ones, I would have imagined. But yeah, it went on for fucking ages, and it was aggravating the whole fucking time. You know, I'd go to my door for a smoke because I don't smoke in the house. I'd go to the front door, open it up, and just hear, fuck me, have you not got bored of it yet? Have you not got bored of just dancing with other men, shouting, probably getting your tops off? I saw one guy when I was driving around on that Tuesday match for work, and there was a chap walking up the road wearing England shorts. I'm assuming at some point he had an England top on, but that was long gone. Instead, he decided to get his sweaty man tits out. What's that all about? I don't think you're a footballer. Why are you wearing football shorts, mate? You're not fooling anyone. Wear fucking trousers like anyone else.
I'm going to try and find us a clip to insert now.
They fucking love it, they do. Look at them.
A lovely person I work with. Me and him went on a date, actually. It was magnificent, Mushu. We went to a place called Diego's Rotisserie, where it's all-you-can-eat chicken wings.
Mate, that sounds, to be honest, I'd go on a date with a bloke for that. Quite happily.
It was incredible, but my fucking God, I was so ill the next day. I went to work, and it was my day off, and I was doing overtime, and I was like, I did 2 hours, and I was like, I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, and probably more information than anybody needs, but I hadn't been able to take a shit. And it got to 7, and I just went to my managers. I was like, look, today's my day off. I can't work today. I feel fucking rotten. And all day I was just like doubled over, just like, I just want to go to the toilet. I fucking ruined myself. We did 44 chicken wings, which doesn't sound that many, until you realise that they were the double ones. We had 22 each. We ate wing for wing.
It does sound like that many.
Oh, it does, does it?
Fucking chicken wings, man.
Yeah.
That's got to be the equivalent of numerous chickens.
Yeah. Like 22 chickens. There's 2 wings on a 2 wings to a chicken.
I mean the meat combined.
Oh, it's an ungodly amount, Mushu. It was absolutely ungodly, but they were incredible. We were there for like 3 hours. Yeah, we made our fucking money back from that place. Yeah,
sounds like it.
But yeah, I was super. But anyway, so this lovely guy, Pete, love you. He listens. He's listened to every single one of our podcasts.
Oh,
yeah, it's a good man. Anyway, so he did that thing you were talking about whipping the shirt off and running around with your man boobs out.
That would be amazing.
Well, I'll send, if he sends it to me, I'll send it on to you so you can actually see it, because he did every single thing you described whilst venting. Also, way to go to alienate 90% of the country.
Well, this is it. I should just explain that for the large part, people aren't like this all the time. There are the odd few that are like this all the time. But it's kind of like a transformation, you know, like they'll get home from work wearing their suit and tie, being a generally respectable person or whatever they're wearing, you know, they'll get back. Oh, you're all right, darling. Oh, the football's on in a minute. I'm just going to go up and have a shower quickly, just get changed. You're all right if I watch the football? And they're like, yeah. Okay, cool. Right, I'll go up. They'll go upstairs and then they'll come down like, and for the next 90 minutes or whatever, they're a fecking idiot. And then generally they'll turn back to being a normal person. So like 90% of the time, I'm sure you're lovely people, but while the football's on, you're all fucking idiots. Sorry, has to be said.
Oh, mate, it makes me chuckle. I'm not gonna
lie.
Anyway,
yeah. You talk to me about alienating people. You're the one that wants to fucking bring back plastic straws and fuck over all the turtles. That's got to be a bigger thing, hasn't it?
Fuck the our overlay should be on this episode. If I make this work, right, our overlays should be here. You should be able to see it along the border. It should look different for everybody.
Shout out to the artist.
Tash does art.
Yes, that's exactly who I was about to say before you cut me off.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Anyone would think you were assuming that I hadn't done my research and couldn't remember the name, but no.
Due diligence.
Due diligence, yeah.
Have we talked about that guy I said about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No, she sent that to me, and apparently she was having like an existential crisis about it, like worrying about the artwork and all of that. And I was just like, it's incredible. I mean, genuinely incredible. She's done such an amazing job. And she's like, I'd have had it to you sooner, but I was like really panicking. I was like, why? It's so good. You're like genuinely talented.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I doff my hat to you. You're an incredible human being. Well done. Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, I think I might have gone off on a tangent there about the football. You were saying about the old vid rules being relaxed.
COVID rules. No, what I wanted to say, because I haven't been to many pubs since COVID, because they've been shut for most of the time. Anyway, so I'm in there for this wake, and then the sports happens, and I pop outside for a cigarette, and I'm chatting to the one other person who's not into sports who's there. And incidentally, somebody from the Isle of Wight who was, for some random reason, in a pub in Eastleigh. Very strange. And two coppers come up to speak to the doorman, and then they come into the pub to make sure that everybody's sat down. Is that happening everywhere, or is it just Eastleigh?
Well, I think the rules are there everywhere. But I don't think the police are necessarily enforcing them everywhere. I haven't been to a pub in over a year now, to be fair, because I've kind of forgotten how to human. I've been shut away for so long.
It's quite difficult.
I find other members of the human race oddly terrifying now, and try and avoid them at all costs. So yeah, I don't know, but no, the rules are certainly there.
Yeah, no, I know the rules are, but how do they stand? So you've got to be seated, because the doorman were doing a grand job. Sorry, mate, no more seats, you can't come in, which I mean must be so difficult for the pubs. And this wasn't like a Wetherspoons where they've got a decent system. They had one poor lady. I assume she's poor because of the minimum wage, but this one woman going around with a notepad taking everyone's drinks orders, and one of my friends, she turned up late because she works for the Royal Mail, and yeah, she had to work late. She was also at the funeral in the morning. She turned up late, and I was ordering drinks. She got there, and I just said to the lady, because the lady was like, "There's like 20 orders ahead of you." And I was like, "Look, the rest of us can wait, but this lady needs her fucking drink." I was like, if you could just get that one out to us." And like 25 minutes goes by, and they're still not there. And the woman comes by, and we're like, "Oh, our drink's coming." She's like, "You haven't fucking had them yet?" We're like, "No." And now all of our beers are gone. There's no beers on the table anywhere. We're just literally sat there like we're just sitting around a table with sports on in the background. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happened." And she literally runs to the bar and gets a triple gin and tonic for this girl. And she's like, I only charged you for a double. I was like, I only ordered a double, thank you. And she's like, I made it a triple for you, which instantly calmed her down. I mean, she knew her clientele perfectly.
Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later, loads of beers turned up. But yeah, it
is difficult.
Why have the screens? Why have the screens by the tills if you can't go to the bar to buy a beer? I just don't understand it.
And
anyway, hopefully all that bullshit will be done soon.
What annoys me, I think, is like, certainly because obviously my girlfriend works in a retail environment, bar, and so I get a lot of feedback from her. But it was certainly the same when the pandemic first started. It's people, but especially more so now. It's been going on for so long. People know how things work, and that things work differently, and they still turn up to these establishments and kick off because they can't go and buy the beer at the bar or something like this.
Yeah.
And I had it on holiday with my dad. Like, we went to one of the venues on site where we went, and we went out for a meal most nights at these restaurants. And we've turned up and they've like, hi there, have you got the track and trace app? And I was like, yeah, I have. My dad doesn't have a very smartphone.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, oh no, I can't do QR codes. And they're like, okay, we just got to take some details down. He's like, oh, I'm not going through this whole bloody thing again. I'm like, well, Dad, stop. And he's like, oh no, I just won't bother. Well, Dad, it's not that. Don't have a go at them. It's not their fault. And
I feel like I would get on with your dad, by the way, because that's how I feel. I've got the app and I use it, but sometimes, Wishy, I just take a picture with my phone and pretend that I've checked in.
This is what I said to Dad. Just wave your phone at it. They're not going to look at it. You know?
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a very firm believer of, like, nobody wants to be dealing with these rules. Not the staff, not the people that have to do them. No one wants to. Like, nobody wants to have to go around their normal work day. Instead of going in, serving drinks and chatting to people, they have to go to tables, take orders down, and explain why people can't stand up. Can you put your mask on if you go into the toilet? It's a bullshit job. Nobody likes it. So fucking shouting at them just makes you even more of a twat in my eyes. That's just my opinion.
Of your dad.
Well, yeah, and I told him as much. I was like, fuck it, why are you shouting at this person? You know, these are the people who are going to be serving us drinks in a minute. You're going to be serving our food in a minute, and you're shouting at them because of something the government's made them do.
Yeah.
You know,
well, the government have so much to fucking answer for, and honestly, I don't understand why, as a country, we aren't fucking rising up against it. After, what's his name? Is it Hancock or is it Cummings? It's Hancock. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't like Boris Johnson. I've made that quite clear over the past because I think he's a fucking moron.
He's a womble, yeah, he is.
He's a womble, yeah. He's a massive great cock womble. But I won't lie, there was just a little bit. I just felt a little bit sorry for him after. So who was it? Dominic Cummings in the first lockdown. We weren't meant to go more than 50 miles away, and he drove 100 miles away to go see his mum. Is that right?
Yep, something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay, that
embarrassing.
Super fucking embarrassing. But Matt Hancock, being the health secretary, telling us hands, face, and space, or rather hands, face, embrace, as the fucking case may be.
I see what you've done there.
Yeah, very fucking good. He, I mean, I'm glad he quit because
he needed
Bojo.
to.
Well, Bojo wasn't going to fucking sack him, was he? So, no. I mean, he's got no chance of re-election. If he gets re-elected, oh God. The world, what are we gonna fucking do? If he gets re-elected, I'll be fucking surprised. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a political conversation.
No, but however, we do need to talk about Hancock.
We definitely need to talk about Hancock. Okay, so all I know is that both of them have left their partners to get together now. Okay, which I actually think is definitely the right fucking move, because clearly they're not into their fucking partners. And how, as their partners, how humiliated would you be that you're married to the fucking health secretary or whatever the fucking hell he's called, and he's been telling everybody they have to stay away from people, and he's busy finger banging his fucking secretary during a pandemic. Oh,
I mean, what a way to find out as well. Like, most people in that situation would have the whole sort of like, oh, do I tell her? Do I not? He's got no chance because it's going to be on the paper. You're going to see something on the front page of the paper this morning, darling, and you're not going to like it very much. I'll warn you now.
I may be on the sofa for a week or two, my love. My dear.
Good news and bad news. Good news, I've made the front page of the news. bad news. I was nodding my secretary.
Yeah, and on an additional note, you get half of everything. So yeah, absolutely fucking what a douchebag. But in the best of British fashion, the memes have been outstanding.
Absolute gold.
Some legend. And fucking, this is the best thing I've ever seen. There was, the big billboards stuck to side of buildings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
have you seen the one that says hands, face, space, and then they've put a massive picture, like a fucking 10-foot high square picture of him fucking smooching his fucking secretary.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I don't understand, why the country isn't just like, fuck your fucking rules. Why is it one rule for you ruling overlords, but us peasants who have actually been working for the last fucking 2 years,
yeah,
we can't hold hands.
The people that are actually being inconvenienced, and just to dampen the mood a little bit, I did see something. It's all very well joking about it, but what you've got, the reality of the matter is that I was reading the other day, there was a young man who was literally like in his 20s, mid-20s, dying of some form of cancer, and his family weren't allowed in to see him.
I heard about that.
And he literally, as he was dying, he said, I feel like I'm in prison. I just want to see my family. But they weren't allowed in to see him. The very next day after he died, that happened, right?
It really fucks me off, man.
Hats off to his family. They've turned around and they're actually quite understanding of it. I mean, they're obviously pissed and they're like, he needs to go or whatever, but they've taken it quite well.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a personal attack on their family individual, was it? It was just a blanket rules for everybody. But
it sucks that, like you say, they can get away with doing whatever they want, whilst making all the rules for the people that are actually keeping this country going. Are being kept down with all these rules, and like you say, we need to be starting to unscrew the foundations of everything they're resting on at the moment. I think personally, not that I want to get done for inseminate. I was going to insemination.
Insemination. I think you'll find that's Matt Hancock, isn't it?
But hats off to the coppers. Have you seen the video with the coppers at Downing Street?
No.
And this mate goes up to them and he's like, "Excuse me, can Matt come out to play?" And the coppers, they're all there with their machine guns and that. They're like, "What?" He's like, "Can Matt come out to play?" And one of them's like, "No, he's packing his desk up at the minute, mate." And then another one sort of leans over and he's like, "He's already had his play anyway." And then they all start laughing about it. Fucking genius.
But then coppers are key workers. They're the ones who've been on the fucking front line the whole time.
Absolutely stiffed throughout the whole thing.
Oh my God, they've had the worst because they've had to fucking essentially, not prosecute, that's not the right job, but nick,
enforce all of these ridiculous guidelines and laws
for normal people. It's like what? So essentially, I have to nick you. A friend of mine got pulled over going to work one day. He got pulled over, and the copper was giving him a bit of a hard time, probably having a bad day. Anyway, giving him a hard time because he was going to work. He's like, "Are you a key worker?" He's like, "Well, my boss seems to think I am." He's like, "Well, I'll be following this up, rah, 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 rah." And he's like, "Well, I'm late now as well." But hey ho. So he gets pulled over. It's just such a waste of, it's like a service that is hugely underfunded. And then they've got to prosecute people for seeing their nan or having a fucking hug or fingering his secretary. I mean, I noticed he didn't get fucking prosecuted. There was no fine coming his way, was there?
No. They were willing to take an apology.
It does my head in, mate, because I think if you're in a position of responsibility, you have to hold yourself to a higher level of accountability than I'm going to use the word subordinates, but that's not necessarily the right word. I mean, like if you're a manager or head of security, for instance, like you were, you've got to hold yourself at a higher level than the people below you, don't you? So when you fuck up, you can't just
absolutely.
You've got
your standards are above everyone else's. It's the same as if you're a staff member, like going for a drink in the establishment where you work. The rules of the customers apply to you, but then there are another set of rules, unwritten rules, that also apply to you, that you have to be above and beyond how they are. Because
I completely agree.
You've got a reputation to uphold, and you've got to lead by example and shit like that. And I fully believe that old saying that the last honest man in Parliament was Guy Fawkes, right? And unfortunately, as much as I don't want to believe it, politicians keep proving it right.
Yeah,
because they're all
do.
fucking crooked. You know, there are the odd couple in there that genuinely out for good, but generally, by and large, fucking ditch the whole lot. Pick fucking someone off a building site, pick a nurse, pick a postie, pick a copper, fill it with people that have spent their life doing everyday jobs, living on normal wages, in like normal situations with houses, mortgages, shit like that. Put them in Parliament and see how the fucking country changes.
Oh my fucking God, Musha, I can't tell you how much I agree with all of that. I just want a teacher included in there, maybe two. Because
that was not an exhaustive list.
No,
Yeah,
I know it wasn't. But I completely fucking agree with all of that.
And take all these politicians and put them doing a normal job for once. Get Boris Johnson out with an ambulance crew on a Saturday night in London. Yeah, see how he copes with a shift. Get him on an emergency ward, something like that. Give him
a fucking postie round with a trolley. Fucking enjoy that. That's for sure.
Get him putting up scaffolding. Fucking guy, the guy will quit within half an hour. As soon as he has to do any genuine work, they'll be like, I quit.
What time does the fish pies come up?
Yeah. Any chance of a Bucks Fizz? No. Fucking get to work, you prick.
I don't know. So we going for a game of cricket after this, are we? No.
It would just be lovely to see the class divide switch round. And the annoying thing is, we have everything we need to be able to do it, but not accept the actual motivation and organisation.
No, we ain't allowed to. We can't even fucking protest without the old bill getting involved these days, can we?
Says who? The rich people in charge.
Oh yeah, well I completely agree. But again, I don't want to get too into this, Mushy.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Get a little, I mean, I'm more than happy to do do an episode based on this, but yeah, let's not tear down the government just yet.
I could do without a visit from MI5, to be fair.
Oh, I ain't gonna have it a fucking hour. All I do is go to work. What do you do? Oh, I'll chat to a mate and put it online every now and then.
If they come around to mine, all they're leaving with is depression.
Yeah, I have a fucking headache from mine. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from politics then. Let's what have we got next that we need to catch up on?
Oh look, no pop up. I like that. Yeah. So anyway, moving away from politics. It's a contentious subject, isn't it? Let's talk about something else.
Celebrities.
Ooh, they've been interesting lately as well, haven't they?
Isn't there a lot going on?
Yeah, I mean, I say they've been interesting. I don't really pay a lot of attention to them, but I did hear about Britney Spears, and I had no idea the shit that girl's going through. I say girl, she's like a 40-year-old woman and looks like a 40-year-old fucking woman.
Yeah. Now, I have to admit that when she went through her mental stage of shaving her head and everything like that, I found it incredibly funny. Like, look at the A-list celebrity losing her mind. Now I know the full story about why that all happened. I feel immensely bad about it because fuck me, that girl needs some props for how she's still going.
It's her family, mate. That's her mum, dad, and sister doing that to her. Do you want to give a little breakdown for anybody who doesn't know?
Yeah, basically, when she was in the earlier days of her pop career, she started suffering quite badly with mental health and things like that, didn't she?
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it was largely her father was the driving force. I can't remember what they call it, but it's like a court order where she's not in control of her own life. He makes the decisions because it was judged that she wasn't mentally capable to make these decisions herself.
Yeah, now that came in when she shaved her head. After that, but he's always been, I don't want to say her manager because he's not, but he's always been a really controlling factor in her life. Like I remember seeing a behind the scenes thing of Britney back when she was fit. Before she shaved her head, and everybody still fancied her, and she was a poster. And I remember seeing it, and it felt weird because he made her some grits with American cheese put over the top of it, and he walks in and he's like, "Oh, Daddy makes you the best food," rah 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 rah. And I was like, she's like a fucking proper A-list, and she's eating that shit. I mean, I know she's original, she's like OG trailer trash, isn't she?
Yeah.
Not wrong with that. Love me a trailer. But I always thought it was a bit weird, but I didn't know any of the other backstory that was going along. And then obviously she's had this, I can't remember what it's called either, Mushu. It's a weird word I'd never heard until I saw that thing about Britney going on. But yeah, no control over her life. She was forced to have a coil put in so she couldn't have any more kids. She's only got that husband because he doesn't say anything and he keeps everything quiet, which I assume is her saying that to happen. It's absolutely ridiculous. But then it goes to court and they let Bill Cosby out. I mean, I don't quite know how that fucking happened. I mean,
are the two directly correlating to each other?
I'm cynical, mate. Everything feels like a smokescreen. I mean, like they've paid someone off. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go back to court. I don't know enough about it because, I don't care. I've got enough going on in life.
A lot of celebrities have jumped onto this though, which suggests that it's a much larger problem than just her. I think this is sort of giving us a sneak peek into the darker side of how Hollywood works and how the music industry works and stuff like that.
You're a Black Mirror fan, aren't you?
I do like Black Mirror. Yeah, I can't say I've watched all of them.
You see, the last one they did about 2 years ago. Charlie Brooker didn't do one in 2020 because he was like, well, what's the fucking point? The world's crazy enough as it is. I don't need to fucking do one. Just watch the news. But so 2019, they did one with Miley Cyrus.
No, I didn't. Did you see?
Oh, mate, that was a great one because the soundtrack was done by Trent Reznor. I remember watching it and I was just like, I fucking know these songs. This is like giving me proper throwbacks of back in the hazy days. Yeah. And it was all off of the songs off of like his With Teeth album, but done by Miley Cyrus. And it was incredible. But it really felt like the exact same thing, but with like a little bit more to it than that. It's Charlie Brooker. It's not just making her do this and that. There was like a plot to kill her and have a robot replace her or something odd and weird like it. But like, it's just Charlie Brooker's work, isn't it? It's like he predicts everything that's going to fucking happen. He's going to be like he's the modern day Nostradamus or not Edgar Allan Poe. It doesn't fucking matter. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, he like predicts all this shit that's actually going to happen. And yeah, seeing that, I was just like, Jesus Christ, Charlie Brooker's hit the nail on the fucking head again, hasn't he? But yeah, I just found it absolutely flabbergasted that, I was absolutely flabbergasted, I should say, that she's a grown woman. Off the back of her talent, her parents and her sister control all of her money. So I heard, this is so fucking sick, that when she was like kicking up a fuss about it, which makes it sound terrible, it makes it sound like she's having a fucking tantrum, but that's not the case. When she was kicking off about the way she's being treated, her parents forced her to go to like these really fucking hardcore therapy sessions, which I can only imagine were a bit like how the Scientologists do that,
basically.
Yeah, but she would, and they were in the middle of fucking Hollywood, wherever, middle of a fucking city, and she would come out of those feeling broken, crying her eyes out, just in an absolute fucking state, and then would have to walk through the fucking main city where the paparazzi are just taking fucking photos of her, which would then make it into celebrity magazines and online, and which would just exacerbate it fuels the whole thing. But it was just like a real cruel and unusual punishment by her fucking family. I was like, what? And the court said like, nah, it's fine. Nah, you can keep doing this. It's like, this is the money she's making and she doesn't even have fucking control of it.
Yeah.
The girl,
money
side, sick.
The money side of it alone is disgusting enough, but you could almost put that down to the music industry and how that works. And it is all financially, but I mean, by no means is it right. But for me, it was the telling her what she can and can't do with her body, and all of that.
That's disgusting as well.
I'm not pro-abortion. I'm not anti-abortion, but I'm very, very pro that every single person has the right to do whatever the fuck they want with their body. All right. It's like,
I'm totally pro-abortion, by the way. I'm pro-choice in every way, shape, and form.
I'm on the. I literally have no opinion on it because I'm never going to get an abortion personally. So but I very, very strongly believe that if a woman wants to, it is entirely the fuck up to her. It is no one else's business.
If you get pregnant, you're not going to get rid of it?
No, mate, I'll keep it. It's only going to be a food baby anyway. Let's face it.
Be a fucking chicken with baby for me.
But the thought that someone's career, and it's a career that she never necessarily chose, because she was she started Disney Club when she was probably
really
pre-puberty. Certainly not at an age where she could choose a career. So once she started getting into that Disney Club, that was her. That was her death sentence, basically. That's what she's doing. So she's never had a choice about any of it. No. Really. And that to me just blows my mind. And she was a prisoner in front of all of us for so long, and we had no fucking idea about it. And it makes me feel kind of dumb. Like, having witnessed her, like I say, I laughed when she shaved her head. Hey, look, she's got fucking nuts. And now I realise that, fuck me, like if I'd have been paying attention to actually her, rather than her just being because so many people just look at her and think, oh, she's a celebrity, you know, she's earning loads of money. What's she got to be depressed about? But fuck, you know, all of that was going on, not just in front of my eyes, but in front of everyone's eyes.
Yeah, and, and more so, mate, she's a fucking mega star. She's not just like, I'm trying to think of a shit celebrity. You know, she's not just like a Love Islander, you know, or like an influencer off of Instagram. You know, she's not a YouTuber. She's Britney fucking Spears.
A-list as they come.
Yeah, she really is. We all grew up with her. Well, not you, obviously, because you're really fucking old. But she was like,
I grew older with her.
Yeah, you grew older with her. You know, Hit Me Baby One More Time came out when I was like 14 or 15, and it was massive. And like, there was always the rivalry between her and Christina, but clearly Christina wasn't under. It kind of explains why Christina had such a massive break that she's been able to have over these years, because she doesn't have her family playing her like a fucking puppet the entire time. She's got that residency. This is why, obviously, we don't see her. She's not doing what she used to do, because she's got the residency in LA, not LA, in Vegas now. And they go on for fucking ever. But yeah, it just makes me sick.
What gets me though is she's done, like you say, she's as A-list as they come. She's done so many interviews with people, and you know, she's gone on like all these shows like Letterman and the Saturday Night Show and all that, Saturday Night Live, whatever it is. You know, these people who are interviewing her must have seen, or the production crews for these shows must have seen this controlling behavior. They must have witnessed it firsthand. And you can't tell me that all of them were just like, that's cool, that's just the way it works. Someone must have been like, there's something really wrong going on here.
I think everybody who did that ended up losing their jobs. I think she was kept in such a tight community. You know how they have their green rooms where everybody goes? I think because she was such a massive A-lister, she would have her own studio. She wouldn't be in those green rooms. And then any of her staff who were like, Brett, this isn't right, love. The second that the parents got wind of it, got rid of him in a second. Probably made him sign NDAs as well.
That's exactly my point, though. It's reached the point when that many people start getting losing their jobs, and it starts affecting that many people's lives, and such a massive effort is undergone to cover it up. That is global conspiracy level.
Isn't it just?
You know what I mean?
Well, we'll just watch this space. She'll be freed. I mean, yeah, no, freed is fine. It's absolutely fucking fine. The Free Britney hashtag is prevalent. But yeah, so she'll be freed. And I think she'll release an album, and it'll be called something like Freedom, or, you know, the chains come off, or something to that effect. Watch this, and it'll be well deserved. And you know what? I'll download it and I'll listen to that motherfucker.
And do you know what?
Just
I hope
to give
it's
her the
like hardcore gangster rap or death metal or something just completely non-Britney. You know, she comes out, it's just fuck, or she does a massive like happy hardcore record or something like that. Just something totally not her, but that's her own personal choice. And you know what? I'll fucking download that as well. I'd happily pay into that, and because she did, you know, fuck me, what is it, like 40 odd years now? She deserves to live her own life finally. Fuck.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
deserves that.
she's fucking 40. She should be allowed to do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
It makes me absolutely angry. But like from a weird perspective, I'm just like, how could you? I can understand as a parent being maybe a bit more controlling than you want to be over your kids while they're minors. Okay, having a hand in their career during those, those difficult years, 18 to say 25, when you're still finding out, even up to that point, I can still understand that. But she's fucking 40, mate. I still think, like, the idea of not letting them, do their own thing, make their own mistakes at that point when they're actually grown ups and have a bit of a life experience, just makes me sick to the core. I really hope her parents and her sister, because her sister's been involved as well, her fucking sibling's been involved. Man, it's just wrong. I hope they get some sort of prison time. I mean, I don't know if they will.
It's abuse.
Yeah, fucking right.
It's abuse.
It's outrageous.
It's child abuse, and then it's gone on to just being mental abuse, emotional abuse, blah blah blah. And jail sentences need to happen, and proper jail sentences, not ones that get overturned like Bill fucking Cosby, who apparently can go out, drug, rape, and whatever. And life hack: if you want to get off with all that shit, have a lot of money and good lawyers.
I do want to talk about Cosby actually, because he is, from what I've read online, which doesn't necessarily make it true, the most prolific date rapist. That's something I haven't repeated over and over many times before. It's got to be said, that the world has ever seen, or it's because there were just so fucking many of them, and these were like full-on testimonies from people that he did these crimes, and he's been in prison for what, 2 years? It's not been
anywhere near long enough.
No, it fucking has. I appreciate he's old, because I saw an interview with some gangster rapper. I was going to say Big Nasty, but he's English, so it won't be him. But it was like an American one, and it was a weird documentary where they were in one of those barbershops, not one of those barbershops, but like a black person's barbershop. Like
yeah,
do you know the sort? In Friday, exactly like that. And they were all like, Dr. Cosby, because he got a free doctorate, didn't he? He got awarded a doctorate from one of the universities because of all of his, well, not because of the rape, but because
I was going to say, I don't think they give out doctorates for that.
No, I don't. Well, maybe a pharmacist degree. Yeah, but it's fucking outrageous. How the fuck has he got out the weekend after the Britney case? It's just, I mean, I don't know if he's out, but he's had his sentence cancelled basically. But I find it amazing. It's like it couldn't have happened at a better time, because it just shows the fucking inequality or the problem with the judicial systems of America, that you've got this girl who's being controlled and abused by her family and made to, but basically she's a pop slave, isn't she?
Yeah.
And then you've got an actual rapist, and there's like 100 testimonies of like, yeah, I went to see him, he gave me a drink, all of a sudden I was sleeping, I woke up and I've been fucked. I mean, there's hundreds of those, and he gets out. What the fuck, man?
See, that sort of thing, I think the judge that made that decision, whoever overturned that decision, should have to go face to face with every single one of those people who wrote the testimonies and explain it to them, and see the reactions on their face when he breaks the news to them, and see if after 10, 15 of those he still thinks the same way. Because it is outrageous. You can't have someone like that out in public, rich or not. And if he does it again now, what happens now?
It's off, doesn't he? Literally.
But does he?
Bad taste.
Sorry. If it happens, I did very well not laughing at that.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself.
But if it happens again now, that's, in my eyes, the United States justice system is directly complicit in that offence.
It's just not. I don't think he will. He's like 900 years old. But either way, he shouldn't.
Why wouldn't he?
Be fucking out.
He's done it. He's done it hundreds of times, and he's got off scot-free with it. Why wouldn't he?
Well, no,
Why wouldn't he do it one more time?
It's just. Also, why would he want to? I don't know about you, but people sleeping.
No, I mean, for me, I mean, personally, probably too much information, but the thing I really like about sex is seeing the look of disappointment on a girl's face. You know.
Yeah, I want to hear those words of consent. You know, the words we all love to hear. Ugh, if I must. You know, that's what really gets me going, Bushy.
I want to be told to put it in halfway through. Like, what? It is. Oh.
Yeah, it's just yeah, exactly. That's what makes it fun. But yeah, the idea of them being asleep is, and it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me at all. I mean, admittedly, that might be how Freddie was made, but that's not my fault. I was the one asleep.
Did you have a drink off Bill Cosby beforehand?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no, rookie mistake.
He's got a great tan though. Yeah, it's fucked up, man. But then come on, did you watch the Making a Murderer documentaries?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, that's examples of just how fucking corrupt. And the cat's literally tearing something up over there. What are you doing, you stupid ginger prick?
I'm not. Oh, sorry, you're talking to the cat.
Yeah.
I was going to say, fucking hell, man. It's the first time back in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't called you that. Okay, no, I've had a pop at the heart condition. Ginger prick. Yeah. Right, what else is there?
Got the checklist. Check.
Yeah. How's that sunburn coming on, Moosh?
Yeah, but you're right. It's the whole justice system. But then, without going back into politics, you look at what's happening over there. America has never been so divided. You know, they're going to have to stop calling it the United States soon. It's just going to have to be the States. Yeah, the divided.
That's what we've
states.
called it for years, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've been out to the States, have you? Yeah.
Yeah, because they're anything but united at the moment.
Yeah. What's his name? Oh, not their prime minister. Their president is not Bernie Sanders. It is, help me out, Emushi.
Oh, I can't remember. It's the other old bloke.
It's McClane. It's not John McClane, is it?
No, he's from Die Hard.
Yeah, he fucking is. Oh my god, I'm not having a good night tonight. I can't remember fuck all.
I can't remember his name either. Why can't I remember his name?
Who's the president of America? I feel like a right cunt
idiot.
now.
Who?
Oh my god, I feel so stupid because I know it.
Tell me.
Who's the president, Mushi? Come on, who is it?
I can't think of his name. I can picture his face.
Joe Biden.
That's
now we should
Biden, yeah.
both be fucking shot for this. Now I see a lot of. I'm part of quite a lot of right-wing American groups on the internet, just because. Well, they're idiots, basically. And just for pure laugh value. I try not to interact with them. I lurk. But yeah, just to look and just to laugh. And they fucking hate him. Like the second he does anything wrong, and they're always showing clips of him sniffing his granddaughter's hair, which I like. I know the context to that. So I always think it's really fucking harsh. It's like sons and daughters all fucking snuffed it, didn't they? They all died really young, and like his grandkids are like literally the last bits of family he has left. So like I genuinely feel sad for him, and you know I've sniffed my daughter's hair before. I don't think there's anything. I mean, I don't imagine you've sniffed your boy's hair through choice.
Is the state of the world, though, isn't it? That we're in now. You know, it's perfectly okay to love kids. It's not okay to fiddle with them. You know. But
I don't think he's fiddling with them.
No, but that's what I mean. But now people are saying that, you know, that they sort of alienate you if you're fond of children. You know, when I was younger, the amount of old people, I love children. You know, like I'll come over and random people just grabbing random kids just for a cuddle or something like that. And it was okay because old people love kids because it reminds them of their youth. And, you know, and I still think the sentiment behind that is fine. If you like children, you like children. You know, people do enjoy being around children.
I don't personally get it, but I am.
That's because we have children. I fucking despise the little shits. You know, fucking dirty little germ-carrying bastards.
But crotch goblins is my current phrase for them.
but yeah, but he is an old bloke. You know, it's probably been a long time since he's been surrounded by the beauty of youth.
Yeah.
And so you've got to cut him a bit of slack. You know, it's not that weird what he's doing. I mean, there are some bits which are kind of uncomfortable to watch, but That's just the world we're in at the minute, I think.
But yeah, you take anything out of context and it looks fucking bad. But neither here nor there. I don't want to talk about Joe Biden particularly,
No,
other than the fact that he isn't making our news. Trump was in our news all the fucking time because of the stupid shit he does. So I presume that he is just being part of the machine, that he's not, he's gone back to the Bill Clinton ways of just, propping up the 1%, if you will. Yeah, he's just like a little puppet for it. But I haven't seen him do anything hugely controversial. But again, these right-wing groups, they loved Trump. They loved him hard. It's ridiculous. And I mean, from certain perspectives, I think what Trump was doing would have been amazing. If you were, in the pipe building business, which let's assume BP isn't anymore, then I assume they loved him because he fucking, the first thing he did was like, oh, fuck you Navajos, you're having a pipe run through your land, deal with it. It was like the very first thing he fucking did. Yeah, so I don't, but it's made it really difficult for me to form any kind of informed opinion on Joe Biden because he's just been so fucking quiet.
Yeah, I think one thing that is worth sort of putting thought into though is if there is another civil war in America, it's going to be so good watching the first LGBTQ regiment of the United Army. Can you imagine it? The rainbow flags flying high, them coming into some like
rainbow camouflage.
Yeah,
oh, it's gonna be fabulous.
Fucking the most fabulous battle ever. And all these grizzly rednecks like walking off with their tails between their legs because they've just been beaten by a load of gays and lesbians, and it would just be the most amazing thing in the universe.
Yeah, all their rednecks with no sleeves, and they just basically they get their ass handed to them and then dressed properly. It'll be fucking great. Yeah. Oh God, imagine that civil war in America. That'd be outstanding. The coverage would be incredible.
It would be something, wouldn't it? The problem is the power vacuum now, where it's so easy to get to America.
Yes.
It would easily break out into Russia would get involved. We'd probably get involved. I don't know why. Why do we want to get involved?
Well, we wouldn't. We're both fucking old, and your heart will explode.
Oh, not me and you. I mean us as a country. I'm not doing anything that involves leaving my house.
Yeah, well, I think I was talking about this just the other day. I think national service would have been pretty good. I mean, I feel like I'd have gotten with it. I mean, I could probably iron a shirt better as opposed to just buying camouflage ones that hide all the creases. Yeah, but let's hope they don't have a civil war because it would be brutal. They've got too many drones, and they would break their Declaration of Independence way too fucking quickly because that's written, isn't it? That if you've got a tyrannical leader, that they are allowed by law to stand up and depose them of their actual job.
And yet nobody did with Trump.
No, because all the people making all the fucking money. Slight subject change, massive slight subject change. I just said money and it just triggered a memory. I heard the greatest fucking conspiracy theory the other day. It's so good. It's one I've never thought of, but I love it. And I know you're quite partial to a little conspiracy theory.
I do like a little bit of conspiracy in my life.
Right, so take yourself back to the 40s when you were a young 20-year-old.
Back in the prime of life.
Back at the prime of your life. You're just deciding what career you're going to take. You found a woman, you're going to make her your wife, have some kids, and you're going to support her with your one job. Yeah? Yeah, and then we go up to the 50s, and the women get liberated, and then they all start working, and they all start paying taxes, and the government have just doubled their fucking income instantly. This was from a woman. This was her. This was one of those what's something that you have no proof of but you believe is absolutely true. And she was like, I think that feminism was engineered by the government to raise more money, to literally double the tax bill by giving and obviously I'm pro equality. I'm not a feminist. I think everybody should just be equal. I couldn't give a fuck about your gender. If you want to work. If you don't. Makes no difference. No odds to me at all. Yeah. But yeah, so she was like, feminism was engineered by the government to increase the amount of revenue that comes in. And then she went into more stuff about how like university costs, so you've got to get federal loans that are at ridiculous interest rates that don't even really give you great jobs, but again, more of a revenue stream coming in. And I heard it and I was just like, I could get on board with that. It's like,
it makes
because,
sense on the surface, doesn't it?
well, how did they manage? So back in the day when you had, we'll say, traditional family roles, okay, it's not, you know, where a wife would stay at home and look after the children and a husband would go to work, but they had enough money to provide for all of them. And I mean, people had a lot of fucking kids at that point. They were just breeding. I'm the youngest of fucking 5. There was, you know, just way too many fucking kids. The idea of that now, I was like, how the fuck do you afford 5? How do you feed 5 children or clothe 5 children?
Look after myself at the minute.
Exactly. I eat a lot of spam. Yeah, it's one of those cans goes a long way.
There, by the way, they're fucking banging.
Yeah, a friend of mine's he's major into spam, so we had a little spam off. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have spam tomorrow for breakfast." I was like, "Oh, I could have spam for breakfast. Let's have a little spam off." His looked pretty fucking good as well, if I'm honest. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I was just, but there was just such a shift, wasn't there? That all of a sudden, I mean, I know they say how the boomers bought all the houses really fucking cheap and everything, but it's like, so now households are dual incomes. You're paying twice the amount out of fucking tax. The government is reaping all of that money. But you couldn't really realistically go back. How, like, my postie wage is fairly decent. It's not bad. It's not particularly good. But the idea of it being literally the only fucking money.
Yeah, it's frightening.
To deal 4 people. I was like, and to be able to buy a house and maintain a car and pay bills. I was like, how the fuck would you do that? I mean, I don't know how much stuff cost in the 40s. You have to tell me. I mean, you were there.
Quite a lot less, I'd imagine.
Quite a lot less, yeah. Well, I remember my mum telling me about her first husband. There have been many. She said, well, maybe he was, now one of them was telling me, I can't fucking remember. But apparently he was earning like £9 a week. I understand what inflation is, just to clarify. But the idea of like £9, I mean, stuff must have been, and he smoked at the time as well. And like a pack of fags is, I don't know how much a pack of fags is. I don't smoke fags. I think I went to buy a pack a couple of years ago and it was like £17. And I was like, you can fuck right. I was like, how fucking much? He's like, it's this real bitch who works in a petrol station in East. Fuck it. I don't know anybody who likes this silly woman. She's just a total cunt. And I was like, bloody hell. And she's like, well, it's your choice to fucking smoke, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, but surely it's your company making the decision to charge £3 more than every other shop in the world. I was like, so yeah, I was like, literally, I was like, yeah, don't fucking want them. I'd rather take a 2-minute walk to Sainsbury's and get them for less. Yeah, fuck you. But yeah, I heard that like literally just the other day about the whole like feminism being introduced by the government in order to get more tax money in, and I was like, it's a reach, but I could see why people would get there. I was just like, it's brilliant. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I've never. I've heard a few of those ones as well. Like, and like I've heard a few of these sort of like, what do you believe, but there's no proof of, and all that. Sort of stuff. Like there was a good one. Area 51 doesn't exist. The whole world is Area 51, and the Area 51 area is the exit, and that's why it's so heavily guarded.
It's like we are Area 51, and that is the staging ground, if you will, or the scientific control.
which is great. And what's the other one? Some guy was like, you can't go to the Antarctic, right? And this is something I'd never thought of. He's like, you can maybe go on a guided tour of like 1% of the Antarctic, but if you go over to the Antarctic unannounced and just sort of go for a walk, within minutes you will be apprehended by armed people who will remove you.
Really?
Apparently so. I mean, who's to disprove it? Because not many of us get to go to the Antarctic, but apparently the majority of the Antarctic is military controlled by some country or another, and you can't go there. Why not? Well, it's all just fucking snow. Or is it?
Oh, maybe it's like a lush paradise.
Yeah, so it's like where all the rich people go.
Yeah. It looks like it's all snow, but you go behind the snow wall because we're on a flat Earth. Um,
It's just
yeah,
like
and then
they put a big white sheet over the top of it, and underneath it's like tropical beaches and everything.
it's
But Google
Wakanda,
Earth can't
isn't
pick
it?
it up.
Is
Yeah,
it?
so
Yeah, Wakanda forever. Oh, just down there, the Inuits have all got their lasers and spaceships.
yeah,
Give that man a shield.
So there you go. Apparently, you can't go to the Antarctic.
I had no idea, but it makes sense because the only people that I've heard of going there have been on expeditions, and expeditions take a shitload of planning, and you need guides and routes and maps and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, wow.
And if you think
Hadn't
about
thought
it,
of that.
there's so many war films, war games, stuff like that, which involve like Nazi bases out in the Antarctic and stuff like that.
Mm.
Why? It holds no military significance whatsoever. It's just a big fucking block of ice. Why?
Well,
Why would you spend all that time and effort getting stuff over there to set up a base?
Maybe because there's Spanish flu hidden in the ice, and they don't want it getting leaked.
There's an army of woolly mammoths.
Woolly
what I
mammoths
reckon.
and dodos, all
And
of them.
Hitler riding a T-Rex. So Iron Sky
shit.
3, that is.
Speaking of Hitler, which we probably do way more than we should. Do you remember when we did the way more than we fucking should?
Way more.
Do you remember when we did the episode and we talked quite heavily about Hitler, and you did your incredible impression of him with Ava Braun, and they were over in South America?
I do remember that, yeah.
Well, very tenuously, I've been watching through the Top Gear specials on Netflix because they leave in about a week. And I love the Top Gear specials. I don't really like the show very much. I find it boring. Cars aren't that exciting to me.
The specials are good fun, though.
The specials are super fun. And they went to South America and they went through that fucking town, didn't they? You know, where like 20,000 Nazis went to.
That's right,
and there's all that. Oh, and I saw it all and I was like, holy shit, that's the podcast we did where we spoke about it quite heavily.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was just like, oh, wow. You know, it turns out we got something right. It's unusual. I know, right? Yeah, I think Rambo showed his face in that one though. He's our expert on the war.
War-wise, there's no one that will really beat him in knowledge about anything army. I don't think.
Yeah, but I was really impressed when I saw it. Also, because they went in there and I was like, fuck me, that looks like Germany. Because they've got a very distinctive form of architecture, haven't they? And it's awesome. Their buildings are magnificent. And I was like, that look very fucking South America-y to me. And then they went in, they explained the whole Hitler thing. And I was like, that kind of makes a little bit of sense now.
Look at us getting something on the money.
I know, right? Yeah.
Have to happen sooner or later, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a million monkeys, a million years. You'll work out the Shakespeare stuff, wouldn't you?
Incidentally, do you want an interesting fact?
Yes, always. Love an interesting fact.
You know pi?
Yeah. The number 3.1656.
Well, it's an infinite number, yeah?
Yes, it is.
If it's infinite, then by all accounts, if you assigned a letter to each number, if you assign a numerical value to a letter, so 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is, then in theory you will have every book ever written somewhere within pi.
Yes, that's the nature of infinity. But yeah, only because it's the nature of infinity. Because realistically, one of those numbers being in the wrong place and you've got to start again, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
But again, with infinity, it
goes on forever, so it will happen sooner or later, just through chance.
Yeah. Or they talk about chance. I've just joined this fucking chance. I used to do a bit of gambling, so I understand the odds of probability. Like I know how to gamble on a roulette wheel, for instance, in an effective manner. And I've just joined this page. A friend of mine at work invited me to. It's called Win-Win. Brilliant idea, fucking brilliant. The person who runs it, the person who runs it, they do stuff every single day in there, and there'll be 2 or 3 prizes. There'd be anything from 3 tubs of Nutella to 60 bog rolls. All brand new stuff, obviously. And you buy
bog rolls.
no, especially if you're paying for it. But you buy a ticket for like £1, £2. The most expensive one I've seen has been £10, and that's 60 runners. So that's like a £600 prize. And then you send the money via PayPal, and then they do like a live draw where they just use one of those random number generators. I'm trying to stifle back a sneeze here. Anyway, yeah, so with the odds and probability, been in it for 2 weeks, and I've probably paid about 25, maybe 30 quid in games. Nothing. It's just fucking, I like, my time has got to cut. And I'm just like, whenever it's a pound game, I'm like, oh, I'll have a pop, you know, it's fine. If it's something I want, they keep putting up the shower gel, that like the very specific brand of shower gel that I like. I'm like, 7 tubs of that shower gel for £1. I thank you very much. Yeah, like on the random and infinity and probability aspect, I still haven't fucking won anything. And my friend's like, it's amazing. I win stuff all the time. She's got a new Nespresso coffee machine. And she's like, look how much toilet roll I've got. I don't have my toilet roll for a year. There are other things. They do like meat and lots of lady-based ones, you know, like spa weekends. There was a holiday the other day. It was like a £5 ticket.
I mean, it's a good sounding thing. I mean, win-win. The name seems to be a bit ambiguous if you haven't actually won anything yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, but probability-wise, I should do eventually. I'll give it another month. If nothing comes of it, I'll leave just so I stop wasting money. Because the problem is when it's £1 or £2, I'm like, that's fucking nothing. Yeah, sure. If £2, rather that than what can you buy for £1? Chocolate bar?
Yeah.
If that, if you go to that fucking garage I mentioned earlier.
Doesn't sound like you want to go there for anything, mate.
No, nothing at all. It's awful. I've never put petrol in my car from that garage out of principle. But yeah, it's one of those probability things. I want to win something, anything.
And there we have the nature of gambling.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. I mean, I've never particularly been a big gambler. I used to play poker, so I mean, poker's fairly decent in that respect.
Yeah, you can control that to a certain extent, though.
What were decent? I read not all the books. There's way too many books, but like I read Super System and Super System 2, Cara's Book of Tales, and a few others here and there. All the big ones, and the bankroll management is the biggest and most important thing about playing poker online and live. It's like if you effectively manage your bankroll, you shouldn't have a problem. Like there's this guy, they call him Jesus, which is too many people call themselves Jesus.
Yeah, not our Jesus.
No, or the Poker Cowboy. Maybe he's got more than one name. Either way, I'm getting that wrong. I'm sure someone could correct us. He did a book or a blog or something along those lines about bankroll management, and did an example that he started on one of the poker sites, and they always give you a little bit of money to get you going, you know, like $1. And using bankroll management, he would play like 1 cent, 2 cents, sit and goes, and you'd win 10 cents. And he rolled that up to like $100,000. He's just like, but the important thing is you have to play within your budget. Otherwise, you know, if you've got $10 in your account, you play a $10 game, you bust, you've lost all your money. But if you've got $10 in your account and you play a 50 cents game, you've got 20 shots essentially with that money.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I used to play. I used to keep $50 on there and just play low stake games. My bankroll management wasn't the best because I was overreaching, but I knew I could top up if I needed to. Yeah. But I never did. I'd cash out to about 50.
Yeah, there is a definite science to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I miss poker. Poker was amazing. The boom was so good before the banks of America shut it down for that whole fucking country. It was incredible when the Americans could play on Party Poker and Poker Stars and Pacific Poker. It was because they were just fish. And the times I were playing, they were getting home from the bars. It was perfect. I mean, I was working a late shift. I was finishing work at 11 o'clock at night. And by that point, they were all home from work. So these games, I used to play this one. I won $6,000 on the $5 rebuy on, what was it? It wasn't Poker Stars, Party Poker. You could only play 3 games at once, which was great. And yeah, it was a $5 rebuy. So you could buy lives. If you busted in the first hour, you could just buy another life and top up. But then at the break, you could buy an add-on. So the minimum you would pay is $10. Yeah. And yeah, I came second in that and got $6,000. I still, to this day, I had Ace King and he had Ace Queen. And I was the chip leader at that point. I had about 500,000 more chips than he did. And I didn't want to push. I don't like Ace King. I've never liked it. But yeah, the flop came down and he raised and I shoved him and he called. neither of us had anything on the flop, and the fucking Queen came on the river, and I was like, no.
Oh.
I still won $6,000, but it's I was just like, you motherfucker, you fucking fish. Left me with like $500,000, and the blinds were like 100,000, 200,000. So I had like 2 hands left. I was like, oh fucking well, that's me, game over. But yeah, absolutely brutal. That was the you always remember the beats, you never remember the wins. The winning hands.
Again, the nature of gambling.
100%. But yeah, it was a beautiful time. But yeah, but I haven't played poker in fucking years.
No, well,
but it's shit. Online poker's crap now. It's too fast. It's like the TikTok generation. People don't have the patience. Like my specialities. I don't know if you want to know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I used to play Limit Hold'em, and they're slow. They're just like naturally slow games. They take ages. I used to play these. There was like a site that used to track your performance across all of the things. You'd put your username in, and you could see how you would do and your percentage returns, so you could work out your games that you would play best on.
Yeah.
And I used to play these 180-man sit and goes. There were only a couple of dollars, but if you won, you got like $250 off of them. And they no word of a lie, they would take like 3 hours. They were like a proper slow ass game. And I won a bunch of those. So my ranking, like globally, was astronomical for this one particular style of game. But now they don't exist. It's all Zoom poker. So you fold your hand, you move to a different table. Fold your hand, you move to a different table. It's so there's none of the like learning how the other players play. There's none of the good shit of poker.
Sort of politics behind it. It's just
now it's just you play your cards.
It's like snap.
Yeah, aces, all in. All right, then fucking. Oh, you just blind stealing the whole time. It's fucking rubbish. Anyway, let's stop talking about gambling. Right, I don't really have a lot more to say about. Oh, there's the Princess Diana statue. Do you want to mention that?
Well, you already spoke to the all-knowing Vicky about this when I brought it up. But yeah, I was a little bit confused as to why there were 3 children.
Well, I'd seen the conspiracies about that, but
because everyone's saying it was the secret daughter or something like that. But
I've seen about the secret daughter.
It's like if you're going to go to all that trouble for a conspiracy, probably don't release a statue. It's like, you put the secret kid on there. Like, fuck, I've already sculpted it. Oh well, we'll release it anyway, shall we? Nobody will notice it. No, we can see it, but apparently that's not the case. And it's supposed to be a child of the world, is it not? Yeah,
it's to celebrate all the work she did with children across the world, isn't it? Which she did. She was an amazing person.
But on those things, they should also probably chuck a landmine in there as well, because she did quite a lot with landmines, didn't she?
Oh, and AIDS kids. She loved an AIDS kid.
Yeah.
I mean, how couldn't you? The kids are fine, aren't they? Yeah,
I mean, maybe that was an AIDS kid. Maybe the girl was an AIDS kid. You don't know, do you?
How do you know it's a girl? Are you assuming their gender, Mushu?
Well, yeah.
How dare you? This is 2021, Mushu.
It's a statue. It's not a person. I'm allowed to assume a statue's gender. Because a statue can't take offence to it. Can it?
I mean, someone can.
Unless it's an actual girl identifying as a statue. This world is a crazy place and I don't understand it anymore. So
no, I don't either.
We'll drop that there. We'll just say it's a child of the world of undetermined sex and gender
and race
and
religious beliefs
and species. Why not?
It's probably a cat.
Who knows?
Who fucking knows? Well, Diana was for all intents and purposes amazing, wasn't she? I mean, as royals go, I mean, Harry's my favourite by far. He's always been a fucking legend, that boy. But
you look at him; he looks 0% like any of the other royal family. It has to be said.
Yeah.
do you know who he does look quite a lot like?
Who?
Paul Burrell.
Who's Paul? Why do I know that name?
Was it Paul Burrell, the one that she was supposed to be having an affair with?
Oh, that was a cat.
Oh. Yeah, I can't remember if it was him, but the chap that she was supposed to be having an affair with looks a lot like him.
Oh well, he doesn't look like Fergie, so I mean that's all that really matters, isn't it? And she's got the hairline of her old man, isn't he? They're all the same.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that was the cat as well.
Passing through. Just passing through.
Yeah,
no respect for boundaries. You probably hear a little bell ringing in the background as well. Anyway, I think that's probably roughly time to end this, isn't it? It's
why not?
Getting on a little bit.
The cat's throwing hints to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice being back, Mushi.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for joining us back again. Like and subscribe, please. We're going to have a lot more content coming out now. We've had our little break. We're back to it. So keep up to date with it all. Hit the subscribe buttons on YouTube. Like it on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok. Just do all that social media-y stuff.
Share it. Let's have some shares. Let's hit that share button.
Share the fuck out of it. Yeah, let's try and get a few more followers for season 3 as well. It's always nice.
Yeah, we're still waiting for your song as well, by the way.
My life.
Just do a dance. Just do a fucking stupid TikTok dance like the rest of those homos. Not that I'm assuming gender, but it's pretty gay, some of the stuff they do on there. I saw a brilliant breakdown of one of them the other day. They're like, this is men these days. Look at them. They look like fucking gladiators. And then they show the clip and they're just dancing around. just fucking all choreographed and everything. It's outstanding. But that's what I want from you, Mushu. I want to see that. You know that This Is Me dance? No, not This Is Me. That's the Bearded Woman. I don't know the name of the songs. You know, where they dive forwards and dive back and they kick their legs out. And
from now on.
Maybe. You tell me, you're the expert.
Yeah, it's from now on.
It's from now on, is it? Yeah.
I'm too fat to do choreographed dancing, man. Come on.
That makes it even better. People want this video. they want it. You owe like
I know,
a lot of YouTubers it.
Oh, yeah. It'll happen.
Lannisters always pay their debts. One of Mushu's.
I'm not a fucking Lannister.
Yeah, you're a liability. But yes, anyway, thank you very much for listening. We've got our website as well. By all means, check it out. And if you need to contact us, you Facebook, email, YouTube.
We will contact you back.
Emails, yeah, and it's been a pleasure. Cheerio.
Toodle.